don't mind my hair. It's all crazy. My husband came home on Saturday and, of course, sick as a dog because he went traveling to another state, and the temperature dropped. It went from very hot to then extremely cold. And of course, this new variant is just like circulating. So he finally got the breakthrough infection. So I've been cooking and everything else, and making chicken soup, and gonna make some matzo ball or saltine cracker balls, which is basically crushed up crackers, egg, and water and salt and all that, and then simmered in chicken broth. So, and that actually is from a Jewish recipe. So anyways, so I'm doing that kind of stuff. But oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So before I was really scared to really just challenge the Catholic Church. I was really scared to challenge the Jewish religion, challenge all the religions, because I know how people are so attached to their religions. And it's like you almost don't want to be offensive, and so you have to play it carefully. And if you could substantiate, anybody can make a statement and be like, oh yeah, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. And and it's fine. People can just spout off and say whatever, but I have to substantiate. I can't just make a flat out statement and say, oh, religion's bullshit, this is bullshit, that's bullshit, your God is bullshit, my God is great, or all that. I don't like making those type of just flat out statements with no substantiation. I gotta substantiate why I'm challenging all religions, and then why people gravitate towards some kind of like belief or ideology or higher power. And so I'm just like, okay. And so I've studied all the storylines out there. There are so many storylines. Oh, it's insane. And new ones get developed every single day. Because again, like I've said before, words create worlds. If you don't say anything and you don't write anything, you have no world. You have no meaning, you have no infrastructure, you have no depth. If you can't use your words and you just stay silent and you're a mute, then you're like an animal, just reacting to your environment. And so humans have been given the intelligence to create their own reality, take away their reality, prolong their reality, shorten their reality, writing themselves into an existence, or writing themselves out of existence. And that's the same thing as speaking themselves into existence and speaking themselves out of existence. And then it is first breaking everything down. Like you break the words down, you break the chemistry down, you break the physics down. Everything can be reduced down to the lowest common denominator. Even the words can be broken apart into then subject, predicate, subject, predicate. Well, that's a sentence, but even words are made up of little words that make up big words, that then make up terms. And the terms turn into paragraphs, and the paragraphs turn into an ideology. And then ideology turns into politics, religion, and scientific dogmas. That's the same thing as look at the cell. You have your 10 amino acids. You have to have a name for these cells, right? Proteins. And then those amino acids start then gathering and attracting other microbes. And then there's a programming attached to it. Now you have an object, a biodiversity, an animal, a human, something that's inanimate or animate. Give it life, give it a conscience. And now you have a storyline. And so while it seems like, just because I'm aware now of all the storylines, a lot of people think that they are relating to me because they're resisting the storyline. They're like, oh yeah, the Freemasons, the Catholic Church. I wrote so much about Jesus, about the whole, the Old Testament. I wrote so much about the Catholic Church. I wrote so much about a lot of the different religions that I'm aware of. I didn't go too much in the Islam and the Muslim religion because I'm not too familiar with that. But since I'm in the West, I'm more exposed to Judaism, to Catholicism, to Buddhism, and all the offshoots. Then the starseeds. I got introduced to that like a long time ago, back in 2012 when I first discovered Alex Jones. And then it confirmed me that, oh my God, yes, Alex Jones not only a controlled op, but I mean, he was given a platform. Was it organic or was it staged? You'll never know if he just organically found this and be like, oh, I'm going to go and be a pundit on InfoWars and go and promote this, and then also promote all the supplements, and then of course all the conspiracy stuff, right? Which are all storylines. The rabbit holes are the storylines. And then you realize, well, wait, hold on a second. Then I Googled and looked up like the Illuminati and who are the 13 bloodlines. You know, and Fritz Springmeier, and either he's the developer of the 13 bloodlines, and he's got a lot of traction, and it was a story that he created, or what we think is he was going out there and galvanizing information, looking up all the different titans of industry, like, oh yeah, we have the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bundys, and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden now you have the storyline called the 13 Illuminati Bloodlines. Yes, we know about MK Ultra, which is the name of programming a person through high intense pressure. Yeah. So Hollywood goes to that. Hollywood are basically CIA, Department of Defense assets. I'm watching called Madam Secretary, and she's all about trying to find the assets in different countries that can go and figure out what this leader is doing, what that leader is doing. I'm like, oh, assets. Oh, yeah, okay. We have controlled opposition. Assets. Those that you listen to and you resist are assets. Now, just because I'm aware of this doesn't mean I'm trying to resist it. No, it's just a programming. You need some kind of programming to keep order from chaos. I'm not opposed to the New World Order. I'm not even trying to resist it. Because you're given a chance. And just because you read stuff in history where you thought people weren't being given a chance, you only know the outcome of what was probably being laid out. The groundwork was being laid out for years. You have a choice. We're going to be doing this, and you either get on board and fucking assimilate, or you're going to be eradicated. And some of the eradication methods were pretty egregious. You've seen them in history. But you know how people are. I want to die for my beliefs. I want to die for my religion. I mean, you look in China. They don't like a specific religion in China. They want everybody under one uniform thought process, which I can appreciate. And so anyone that doesn't get on board has to go and get re-educated, which the methods are pretty extreme. And yes, some people could say that they might border on violating human rights. Okay. But you were still given a choice. Your beliefs are just a belief system. Somebody programmed you from birth and told you all these different words, told you how to act from these different words. You had a community with an infrastructure that told you how to behave in it, and now it's changing. Can you get on board and change with the infrastructure? And if you can't, well, we can't have divergence. And so the divergence in our society get eradicated. The ones that resist, the ones that think that, oh God, these are evil people, when really, when you're doing the jelly juice, you're purging out the excess foreign antibodies that are causing the chaos, and you're not mourning all the microbes that are coming out of your body into the toilet, are you? They were given a chance to either assimilate or get the hell out. Yes, it's an energetic process, that's for damn sure, but that's the same thing that's going on today. We are dealing with a major restructuring. And they've been giving you plenty of warnings. Okay, we have this major restructuring. And you see the left and the right and the center and all the different offshoots, the starseeds and all the energy healing people and the love, and the hate, and the resist the salt, resist the sugar, resist the food. They're doing new proteins where you don't have to kill an animal. So even the vegans and vegetarians are going to have a place in the future where we're not relying on animal-based products. that we can recreate them in a lab. But then you should be like, oh, I don't want lab created stuff. I want the real thing. What the fuck is a real thing? Anything we create in a lab is then created out there in nature, which is like a lab. It's just has sunshine. It doesn't have four walls and a bunch of people with lab coats. It's just the chemical reactions to different things. And so, you know, it's so interesting when you realize this. And so, you know, so that's why you see me. That's why you see me asking people, can you just reconsider your horoscopes, your ethnicity as far as what you think is who you are? Can you reconsider your religion? Even if you don't call it religion? Can you reconsider your angry resistance? And just because you're aware of the New World Order and all the things that are staged doesn't mean that you have to resist it. Just understand it and survive. And then, because you already see people who are taking on the Christian principles, becoming a martyr, dying for their beliefs. So they made a martyr out of Jesus, and then all his disciples were like, I'm going to go and die for my beliefs someday. And then you see all the offshoots of Christianity. Judaism, okay, came first according to the linear history of politics, religion, and science. And so the Jews were the first, but maybe they weren't. But hey, that's how the story goes. And then they created all these different offshoots. But even the Jews still believe they should die someday. So then you all are equal. Okay? There shouldn't be any division between the Christian and the Jews. Because they both believe they should pass away someday. Just look at everybody in their churches and their synagogues. Look at everybody even in the Islamic religion. They all believe they should die someday. Everybody has a place they want to go. Even the starseeds, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Venusians. And people are like, oh, I'm intergalactic. I'm from another galaxy. I'm an alien. and you saw, what's her name? Anne Heche go through something like that a couple, like maybe in the 90s. Where she went off the deep end and she was been heavily programmed to think that she was an alien. And then or either that was an act, or she went under some heavy mind control stuff. You don't know. You don't even know what's real or not. The only thing that you know is real is that when you're uncured, you'll feel the viruses. And then all the theater of politics, all religions, spirituality, horoscopes, starseeds, and even the scientific dogmas are all storylines, and they're freaking amazing. Believe me, I love watching Netflix. I love watching these storylines because they're so creative. Even watching, was it Blade Runner 2049? That was like, wow, that's dystopian. Does it mean that I'm like, you know, that this is what's going to happen? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, who knows? You got to have the collective to get on board to create something like that. And yeah, and you have a bunch of people who are dying and who are martyring themselves because they think they should die someday, and they're all caught up in their hormones and all the distractions. Yeah, maybe that might come to surface. Who knows? That might come to fruition. But then you look at George Guidestones. You look at what the tenets are. They want a peaceful, balanced planet. And I applaud that outcome. As far as the journey to that, well, you all have a choice. You all have a choice. When you're angry, it's because you haven't figured out how to save yourself. So you think that saving somebody else from the therapeutics, from the New World Order, from the past, oh, what happened in 1800, in 1944, 1945, we can't have that happen again. And oh, hey, hello, it's happening again. So you think all your awareness of the past historical atrocities is going to stop it when I guess it has to happen. And again, right now, you're being given a choice. And maybe people back in 1940, back in 1800, back in 1965 in China, and even today, everyone is given a choice. And if you choose to resist the changes, if you choose to just be like, hey, whatever, my life is only worth maybe 50, 60 years. If you choose not to understand physics, understand allegory, understand science, I don't know, physics, biochemistry, chemistry. If you're choosing to take part in the storylines of resistance and whatever else, if you're all about saving somebody else, you ain't gonna make it. And look at my Facebook crowd. Even in the Jilly Juice people, they're trying to save people from all the different therapeutics. And vice versa, the people who are taking therapy are trying to save people who are not taking therapeutics. So you're all distracted with saving somebody else. Look at those who are out there in the streets in their activist stance, all about the love, 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 and the hate, hate, hate. Oh, just look at my business page. When I said, hey, I'm not buying into the storyline, and someone assumed that I was like in their corner resisting. No, I'm not resisting. Awareness does not mean I'm resisting. It just means that I'm more aware now. Even more so, and I could substantiate. The Bible is just another written story, no different than the Epic of Gilgamesh, no different than the Iliad and the Odyssey, no different than any other text like William Shakespeare and all the books written by all the different thinkers of the day. They developed an infrastructure. They developed a programming called the archetypes, or the starseed starchetypes. And people are buying it hook, line, and sinker. And they defend it. And they're like, oh, they're all about hating the Bible and hating the people who are believing the Bible, but yet bought into their archetype. Yet buy into that they're going to go and ascend. And they're all about the ascension. And I'm calling them on it. Because I know they're cured. I know they're still probably doing J-juice. They haven't really changed their biochemistry. Because they've done so much that they can't even have a different thought process or know how to articulate both sides of an argument. That's how I know people haven't really evolved, because they can't even articulate the other argument. They're still stuck in their one-sided, biased point of view. And so you won't bring anything new to the table because you haven't even changed your biochemistry, you haven't even changed your outlook. You're probably out there with all the viruses wanting to take part in all the social capital. And so you have to be cured to do that. Because let me tell you, even with my husband coming home, I had to deal with just a tiny little assimilation to him. So I had to cough out a bunch of stuff, blow my nose, but that was about it. I mean, I got over whatever I was exposed to last weekend. But him coming home again, now being sick, I'm now exposed again, but it's not as bad. And so if you're not feeling this environment and you're out there gallivanting as if we're not in a pandemic, yeah, you're gonna resist you're gonna resist the transition. You're gonna be in your fantasy land. You're gonna probably go out and try to save everybody, and you will ignore yourself, ignore your children, ignore the immediate priorities in front of you, and no, you won't survive, and it will be your choice. Because you're given every opportunity. I finally went to Instacart because I'm tired of going out there and shopping every fucking weekend. And I have to take in new variants. My husband is enough assimilation and going outside when the wind is blowing. I don't need to be stuck in a closed space like the supermarket. And so I know how aggressive it is because I'm not cured. And I'm not living in fantasy land. And I understand what goes on, and because I'm aware doesn't mean I'm resisting. It just means I'm aware and I'm conducting my life differently. Like the intentions, we're going into a new type of world. 7.9 billion people mutating viruses. When there is a transition, a balancing force that's happening, you gotta fucking change the way you do shit, or you won't survive it. I don't know how anyone is working out there in the public and not so fucking exhausted when they come home. And if they are exhausted, how long are you going to do it? How long do you think you're going to be able to fight the microbial wars out there for those in the first world? Good luck, everyone. You're going to need it. Bye.